watching Peace Country Presents on CJDC-TV.
Hey there, welcome to Peace Country Presents Peace Profiles. I'm Stacey Robbins. Each week I get a chance to meet some of the unique people who call the Peace Region home. And this week we've got another great show for you. I'm going to introduce you to a familiar face who's doing something a little bit different with his time. And also I'm going to introduce you to somebody who's helping instill a passion for science in students in Fort St. John. Later in our My Peace segment, we'll head to the favorite place of a local writer, a place where she feels most at home. So stay tuned for that. That'll be later on in the show. First, I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Kevin Frankham. He's a science teacher in Fort St. John who, over his 20-year career, has been helping with science fairs, and maybe one of the reasons why science fairs thrive in the Peace Region. This is Kevin Frankham.
I teach grade 2-3 in my day job, and I also work in science fairs. I work on the regional science fair here in our region, which includes Fort Nelson, Dawson Creek, Fort St. John, Chetwood, Tumbler Ridge, the whole area. We're called the Northern BC Regional Science Fair. I've been the chair most of the time over the last nearly 20 years when it's been in Fort St. John, and now I'm the vice chair. And I'm also the chair of the National Science Fair Committee, which is based out of Pickering, Ontario, with the YFC, Youth Science Canada, and it's quite busy. That's quite a busy job these days.
The sun is part of the solar system.
Oh.
It is. It is. But thank you. What's beyond? When you look up at nighttime, when you look out, what do you see?
At Ambrose,
1, 2, 3,
grade 3 and grade 2, as I have this year. They usually do their first science fair projects under me, and that's one of the things that I kind of look forward to. And I've seen some of those students go on to the regional fair and be winners there, and go on to the Canada-wide science fair. I've traveled with some of them. There's one girl, Kimmy Gulovich, that we went to, I think, 3 Canada-wide science fairs together, and we also went to the Taiwan International Science Fair in 2008, and that was an awesome experience. And so it's kind of wonderful to see kids that started here going on to those bigger and better things. It took a long time before we really started to get some kids that were really willing to take on the challenge, and so those students I mentioned, among others, have done great things. I think there's some sort of that adventure spirit, that no job is too tough to tackle kind of feeling, and because some of the projects have been pretty massive and involved a lot of stuff, and they don't seem to be fazed by that, and it's been really wonderful to see that kind of attitude start to take shape, and it's leading to more kids coming up doing those kinds of things and being challenged, and they see the success. And I think that's a big help too, is when kids see success, they go, well, maybe I should give that a try. And so we've got more kids coming along that we can see probably are going to follow in those footsteps. And hopefully the more kids do it, the more we'll want to. And it will kind of, that ripple, that pebble in the pond, and that ripples go out and just bring along a lot more. I must say that in our school district, the school district is very supportive of our activities, and pretty much all the schools in our district are involved. Unlike Fort Nelson or School District 59 to the south, they don't get the same kind of participation, but we have it here, and schools keep doing it, administrators keep supporting it, teachers keep doing it, and so it makes a big difference. And lots of kids really look forward to the opportunity to go to the regional science fair. But we try to make it a great experience for the kids, so that it's like when kids go on sporting events and they go to tournaments and all that kind of fun. Well, for the science fair kids, it's that big day. Maybe at your school science fair is a bit of a day, but at the regional science fair it's even bigger, and there's medals, and we give out quite a bit of money. I think last year was about $2,800 in cash we gave out, and a couple of other people won scholarships beyond us, so it was even more than that. But and prizes for all kinds of things, and So they have a lot of fun, and hopefully it keeps them going, yeah, science is fun, because it is, and that they'll keep doing it in the future. And it's amazing, there's no limit to the questions. You know, there really isn't any limit. And I sometimes laugh when people go, let's look in the science fair book and see what's great. Well, all the great ones I've seen are ones that kids came up with, things that they were interested about, and kind of areas that they headed off into. So it doesn't have to be something from a book. Just let your imagination wander and then give it a try. You know, there's no problem that really probably you can't do something on. I grew up on Vancouver Island in Port Alberni, and then I went to UBC for school, and then got my teaching certification, and then I went to I got a job in 1986 in California. They came recruiting, and it was tough to get a job in BC, and so that's I was teaching science there, and I got involved with my first science fairs and running a district science fair there, and then I came up here, and soon after I was getting the first science fair at this school kind of going, and then soon after that onto the regional science fair. So it's been about 25 or 26 years that I've been involved with science fairs, and I enjoy it, and I keep doing it because it's a wonderful event. Well, actually my wife is also a teacher, and we had an interview for a job at 101 in 1986, but apparently we finished second. And then after we'd been in California for a couple of years and kind of looking forward to coming home, we sent out applications, and we got back, and there was already a job offer from Fort St. John, a little 2-room school. And so we made some few phone calls and didn't seem to be anything else in the works, and so we said okay. We came up, and that was in 1988, and so 24 years later we're still here. Well, when it's 30 below and people are emailing you from California and stuff, and it's 30 above, it's like, oh, I wish. But I guess that's what retirement's going to be for us, the opportunity to get in on some of that. So kids are using all sorts of technologies in their projects nowadays. We have to, I guess, kind of look a little bit more about how they might be presenting their projects. It's one of the things we're doing at the National Science Fair Committee, and so this year, next year in Lethbridge, students will no longer bring display boards. We're going to have big panels for them to put up stuff, and then there'll be the ability possibly to even start projecting things, so they don't even have to put something up physically. They can just project it when they need it. So that sort of thing, you know, will probably filter down over time. It costs some money, but technology it's just helping kids to do more things, and I don't think that it necessarily changes the science about things, about what they're studying, but it allows them to investigate things in a different way, in a more sophisticated way at younger ages, where some of that stuff probably you could only do it if you're a graduate student at university. Now you can access it, you know, in your hometown, and make use of it right from elementary school ages. You know, there's just so many more things that they can have access to help them on the way, and all that's good. All that's good, because the more people know about science and can use it in a constructive way, you know, I think the better we all are. Of course, it all starts in elementary school, and so we think we have a pretty good base. And one of the other people from our region was giving a workshop at the last Canada-wide Science Fair on elementary science fairs, and somebody came up and asked her about, you do science fairs in elementary school? Oh yeah. And so he seemed flabbergasted that you could start that early, and we think it's making a difference. If you're wondering about, you know, you're hearing about the science fair today and wondering about, can I get involved? There's always opportunities to get involved. I know a regional science fair committee in Fort St. John is always looking for some people, and truthfully, it'd be nice to have some people who weren't teachers involved, because you bring different perspectives and different experience, and that's been valuable when we've had that. I know in Dawson Creek, they're struggling to get a committee together, so if you're from that part of the woods and like to be involved, you know, that you can contact somebody in your district. Oh, you just hope that you're making some small bit of difference in somebody's life. You know, not a big way, but small ways, and sometimes that really kind of shows you that, yeah, that there maybe somebody is getting something out of what you're doing, and you kind of feel some small part, just a small part of their success, and some pride when we're at the Canada-wide Science Fair when somebody from your region gets an award, and that, you know, partly it's you've provided them the opportunity. And that's a big part of what I think being involved with regional science fairs. Kids do science fair projects. We get about 280 or 300 kids there, but there's hundreds and even thousands more doing projects at schools to be selected to come there. So, you know, it just feels like that I think we're doing some good, and that it's not a bad thing. And so I take pride in when we get some people that are successful, but also that lots of people are involved.
Science fair projects and are hoping to make regionals this April. Coming up after the break, I'm going to introduce you to somebody you may already know, but who's doing something a little bit different. Stay tuned.
Peace Country Presents. We'll be right back.